Alright everyone, Grandmaster Nightfalls are back, and in Season of the Chosen they bring with them the Adept Nightfall loot. This endgame mode is arguably the toughest in Destiny right now, but if you want the most coveted weapons out there, you'll need the most overpowered builds to make these ordeals a cakewalk. So if you want all the gear but have no idea, you're in the right place. We're closing in on 93,526 subs, help us get to 2 likes today, and let's get into it. Grandmaster Nightfalls are set at a 1350 power level with an entry requirement of 1325. Your power will be capped at the 1325 power level though, with both base power and artifact power level combined, and so you'll be one shot to a lot of incoming damage from enemies, making these encounters tough. And if your full fire team dies or runs out of revives, you'll wipe and be booted to orbit to start all over again. Elemental burns and incoming damage modifiers will hit hardest, as well as there being an abundance of champions throughout each nightfall. Fortunately, there's tons of builds and mods available in the game right now that can help minimise these tough encounters and maximise your survivability and damage output. So let's take a look at some top options for Warlocks, Titans and Hunters, including exotics, weapons and must-have mods. For starters though, let's look at the mods. Now besides the champion mods which will rotate depending on which nightfall is on rotation that week, you'll definitely want to lean into a Charge with Light build using the Protective Light mod. This mod is the best in the game at keeping you alive, and in Grandmasters it's almost essential. It'll give you a huge bump to damage resistance when your health hits the red bar, granting the Sheltered by the Void perk, which increases the more stacks of Charge with Light you have. Stacks on Stacks and Supercharged are great mods to maximise your Protective Light mod, allowing for 15 seconds of damage resistance. Now you can either use Taking Charge, Elemental Charge or Incinerating Light to become Charged with Light to allow the Protective Light buff. Now I'd look at adding one of the new Elemental Well mods too, with either Elemental Armaments or Elemental Ordnance being key, as collecting a well will regen abilities quickly to finish off with the combat mod slots. Next, you'll want a resistance mod on your chest armour. Any of them will do, granting a base 25% for each mod, and if you stack them you'll get a 40% damage reduction. Pick and choose either mod for whatever the modifiers are, but the Sniper Resist mod will be a priority to be honest. Besides maybe switching out Stacks on Stacks for a Warmind mod depending on your weapon choice, that's it for the mods that I recommend using for the Grandmasters. So let's now take a look at some exotics for each class that will be must-haves, not just for you, but your fire team. This is just a quick rundown with my top picks for each class that will be key for a successful completion, especially if you're just wanting to farm for adept weapons each week and aren't fussed about gilding the Conqueror title. Well of Radiance is a must for Warlocks, and therefore so is Phoenix Protocol, as you'll be able to build your super back whilst in the well, and with 3 Warlocks you can just chain them as often as you want. Titans, you'll want to dust off the Ursa Furiosas from your vault. These work similar to your super return from the Phoenix Protocol, but they'll also allow you to place an indestructible moving shield in front of your fire team. This works particularly well with Top Tree Sentinel, as you can double down into a Ward of Dawn for maximum DPS when required too. Omnioculus is my hunter's choice though, thanks to its Night Stalker double invisible smoke grenades it offers and the bonus damage resistance it applies to you and allies whilst invisible. This will be particularly potent for anybody just wanting to skip encounters on the way to a successful completion, as well as getting that clutch revive. Lastly, we've got a bunch of weapons worthy of your loadout here. Anarchy and Izanagi's Burden are always popular choices, even more so with the anti-barrier sniper mod this season, but even Borealis could be clutch for match game shields on enemies, as well as the bonus damage it can offer too. All of the exotic bows are great choices for the Overload bow mod, but don't sleep on the Biting Winds bow from Europa, which can have some top tier roll options too. Rocket launchers are incredibly strong though this season, with Code Dwello and Royal Entry great for both boss DPS and ad clearing depending on the rolls, with all of the exotic rocket launchers being good shouts too. Alternatively, the Salvager's Salvo Grenade Launcher and Extraordinary Rendition SMG are great pairings for any loadout due to their strong ad clear potential and good damage output too. Ultimately, it's all about chaining your abilities with your fire team for a successful completion, which at the end of the day is the only thing between you and your adept loot. As a final thought though, I'd definitely consider one player using Stasis. It's hugely underrated in endgame content, but its freezing and slowing capabilities can't be underestimated and can alter the tide of any tricky situation with just one well placed Duskfield grenade. Let me know down in the comments what you'll be using and which adept weapon you're looking for. I hope you enjoyed this quick build guide for Grandmaster Nightfalls. If you did, then please check out my other wacky build guides below and subscribe whilst you're there so you don't miss a beat. A like is also greatly appreciated. That's it for this one though, so on that, and as always, thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you next time.